we need to talk about the future of Splatoon, or the future of Splatoon 3. Now first, there is an elephant in the room. You see this wet spot? Yes, I was drinking water and I missed my mouth. But that's besides the point. The future of Splatoon 3. This time last week, we had the Grand Fest in Splatoon 3, which I guess for that game is the final fest compared to how Splatoon 1 did it and Splatoon 2 did it. And I gotta say, it was absolutely amazing. The vibes were there. It was just perfectly done. And honestly, it was just such a great way to end off Splatoon 3's content cycle, which, of course, if you didn't know, the developers are not going to be adding, I guess, let's just say extra content like weapons and maps and all that type of stuff. This 2-year cycle is finally concluded. Now, this does not exclude balance patches and perhaps quality of life updates and all the sorts, but it's just the thing that the main content is finally done. Now, a lot of people, if you've been glancing over Twitter, you've been seeing some people having some sad feelings like, oh my God, Splatoon 3 is over. There's just nothing left. The whole game is just over. Everyone's just gonna stop playing it. And it's just like, I don't know. For me, it's very, very dramatic. And it's just something that I want to address just to the entirety of, or I guess anyone who plays Splatoon, just to give you guys like a reality check, jumpstart, just to snap back into reality that yes, you all are being very dramatic because Splatoon 3 is a multiplayer game that will continue to be played as long as people are playing it. I know it's very, very obvious, but I have to mention it just so that, hey, yes, we are still here, we are still playing, and we're going to be continuing to play the game because, you know what? We actually really enjoy the game. At first, with all these sad feelings, you wouldn't have those if you didn't exactly enjoy the game. So if you really do enjoy the game, continue to play it. Continue to spread the word about it. Get your friends into it who've maybe never picked up Splatoon or anything like that. The thing is that Splatoon 3 will only die if we let it die. So if we go on negative tangents and sprees and doom posts like, oh my God, it's all over and there's just nothing left, then yeah, you're going to hemorrhage your part of the community because you will push the idea out to think that, hey, wait, you know what? Maybe it is over. Maybe no one else is really going to play this game. But no, we are not going to let that happen. And personally, I'm not going to let that happen. So yes, keep playing Splatoon 3 till your heart's content. But there's one thing that I do want to mention, especially when, of course, we've just gone through Grand Fest, and historically with Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2, they've kind of followed the theme of what the next game is going to be about. And as you know, Team Past 1. Thank you, thank you, thank you, yeah, thank you. And because Team Past 1, what is Splatoon 4, or is it even going to be called Splatoon 4, going to be like? Now, I think first things first, when could we even expect Splatoon 4 to even happen? In my honest opinion, I feel like the time period of when we could expect another Splatoon game, with it being Splatoon 4, would be around, not next year, but I'd say I give it 2 years. The reason I'm saying that is because I feel Splatoon 3 does have quite a lot inside it. And at the same time, I still think it's a little too soon for Splatoon 3 just to be, I guess, moved on to Splatoon 4 already. Now, you could argue and say, hey, the first Splatoon game, Splatoon 1, only had a 2-year cycle until Splatoon 2 was then released. However, the thing is that Splatoon 1, I'm not gonna lie, it was more so an experiment for the developers at the time, because at the time, they didn't even exactly believe that the game was going to actually get as much traction that it actually did receive. It's quite crazy to think how well Splatoon 1 sold and how well received it was on a pretty dead console that was the Wii U. And at the same time too, Splatoon 1 didn't have as many content updates like how Splatoon 2 and 3 did. So the turnover cycle may, still take some time. I give it like a 4-year cycle, which is probably when we can expect our next game. What would Splatoon 4 be about? Now, of course, the Grand Fest, it was a thing that just happened, Team Past 1, like I said. And a lot of people have suggested that, hey, if Team Past was to be the thing that wins, then maybe the next Splatoon game would be something that's based within the Great Turf War. Now, if you don't know what the Great Turf War is, I mean, it's kind of, you have to read the Splatoon lore to actually go through it, but just in brief, yeah, it's very much within Splatoon's lore. And honestly, that's quite a good suggestion because we don't exactly know, of course, what they are going to plan to do. But until then, it's just going to remain a mystery until we get, I guess, a reveal trailer that, hey, this game is going to be a thing. when could we expect that as well? And honestly, again, I feel like we could expect that in maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years again, like around that period. Like, I don't feel like it's just going to be straight away soon, like I said before. And of course, the Switch 2, which is most likely going to be revealed any moment now. It's quite obvious that the next Splatoon game is most likely going to be on that console. And again, I don't feel like it'll be a launch title game because I still think it's way too soon. But you know, give it some time for the Switch 2 to be alive and well and all that type of jazz. Then eventually, possibly in some Nintendo Direct, another Splatoon game will be revealed. Now, just to talk about the Switch 2 a little bit, because it's something that I'm really, really looking forward to, especially for a Nintendo console, and of course, a Nintendo fan myself, because just during, I guess, the wave of like games that we've been getting for Nintendo, it's kind of quietening down, and I feel like when the Switch 2 finally releases, there's just gonna be a flood of new games that probably Nintendo has been saving, and of course, Splatoon will be one of them and all that jazz, so I'm really looking forward to it. Seeing like the specs leak, we can expect to see that the next Splatoon game is just going to really hit it off in terms of its graphical performance and all that type of jazz. They say that it is 4K capable, which I think on the I guess the dock or however it is, there's an HDMI 2.1 port, which kind of suggests that, okay, 4K could be possible, 120 Hertz could be possible, and even still, where the Switch 2 probably will be backwards compatible, let's just say that Splatoon 3 can get tagged along in that backwards compatibility to take advantage of that, and maybe on that specific console, there could be a more enhanced version of Splatoon 3, which maybe might be able to allow 120 Hertz or 4K or anything like that. It could be cool, but I would love for that to be a thing, just to show that, hey, you can do this with your previous games that you've had for the regular Nintendo Switch on this console as well. So it's really, really exciting. Like, I'm so excited to see what Nintendo has in store for us, and when they finally reveal this Switch console, like what it could do for Splatoon. I mean, I'll make another video about it. And again, that's not just the next game for Splatoon 4. It will include Splatoon 2 and 3. So like, dude, it really does generally get me really excited on the potential. It's not like, I'm not saying it's concrete fact. It's just that potentially, what if we have a Splatoon game at 120 frames or just above 60 frames? Anything, really. That's just, personally, that's just what I want, because it's just gonna cut input lag and all that type of jazz. Like, it'll be perfect. It'll just be the smoothest Splatoon experience ever. So yeah, I mean, honestly, that's really, really exciting. I think the future for Splatoon and Splatoon 3 is looking very, very bright. And, you know, yes, Splatoon 3 is not dead. As for conclusion, it's not dead. Big runs are actually still happening. There are Splatfests or seasonal Splatfests that are going to be happening. There's going to be one in October for the Splatoween, and I can assume there will also be one for Winter Splatfest as well, or during winter, Christmas, whatever. So, honestly, it's looking really, really up. And I just want you guys to know that, hey, you should still keep playing Splatoon. I mean, I've got so much content that's coming out for Splatoon, and also support all your other Splatoon content creators. Leave likes on their videos if you enjoy their content, and of course, leave a like on this video as well if you enjoy my content, and subscribe to all of us. So, you know, we really want to keep Splatoon alive, and, you know, we just got to keep positive and look up. And, you know, I got some things I actually want to mention about Splatoon 3, which didn't happen for Splatoon 3, which I'm actually quite confused. So there's going to be a video about that coming out soon, because there's many things where I'm just like, man, why has this not been added in? Or why has this feature not been added in? Maybe they do it in a quality of life update, but who knows at this point. So either way, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave your thoughts about I guess, the future of Splatoon for you as well. Just like, how do you feel about it, and what direction do you feel like Splatoon's going to lead in coming into the future now as well? So yeah, that's all I gotta say, honestly. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Look forward to the content, and I shall see you guys in a future video.